It was actually made in North Mississippi. And howdy, everyone.
What's that? Whose house was that? Not mine.
The bite?
The beeping.
That wasn't mine.
Did somebody have chili for lunch? No? Okay. Howdy, everybody. And howdy, D. Howdy, D. Howdy, Landon.
What's up?
All right, so we are continuing on in Joshua this evening with 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23.
Probably granola bars.
Now, just a program note. The next reading we do, I'm going to put it off until Sabbath because we start into Judges in the next reading after this one.
That'd be good.
And that's where Israel starts dropping the ball.
That's where stuff hits the fan.
It's where stuff starts hitting the fan. So Wednesday is going to be the premiere of the last part of the A Life of Repentance. The fourth part is tomorrow. The fifth part is Wednesday evening. Tomorrow it'll be morning. So set your alarms, East Coasters. They get up with Maker's Hours. Okay. Anyways, let's go ahead and pray in. Interesting. Okay.
What happened? I don't know what to do.
Let's try this.
Okay. Just a second. I don't know what I'm doing. Just a second.
Heavenly Father, thank you very much for this opportunity to come and study your word together. And we very much appreciate how you give your spirit to us of understanding and inquiry, the wonderment of wanting to know what it is that you're telling us and how it is your creation works. And we do appreciate all your creatures and marvel at them, even if we don't understand them. And we are grateful for that. And thank you. Now we ask your blessing upon this reading and everybody who participates now or in the future. And thank you for that. In Jesus, Yeshua's name, amen. All right. Joshua chapter 19. That's that one. Big one, big 9. And somebody isn't ready yet. Okay.
I'm here. I'm ready. Just a second. I'm ready. Just a minute. Okay.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Okay. You're reading or me? Okay.
Okay, there we go. And the second lot came forth to Simeon, even for the tribe of the children of Simeon, according to their families, and their inheritance was within the inheritance of the children of Judah. And they had in their inheritance Beersheba or Sheba, and Moladah, and Hazar Shual, and Bala, and Azem, and Eltolad, and Bethel, and Hormah, and Ziklag, and Beth Markaboth, and Hazar Susa, and Bethel Beoth, and Sharuan, 13 cities and their villages. Ain, Rimmon, and Ether, and Ashan, 4 cities and their villages. And all the villages that were round about these cities to Baaleth-beer, Ramath of the south. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Simeon, according to their families. Out of the portion of the children of Judah was the inheritance of the children of Simeon. For the part of the children of Judah was too much for them. Therefore, the children of Simeon had their inheritance within the inheritance of them. And the third lot came up for the children of Zebulun according to their families. And the border of their inheritance was unto Sarid. And their border went up toward the sea and Maralah, and reached to Dabasheth, and reached to the river that is before Jokneam, and turned from Sarid eastward toward the sun rising unto the border of Chislotabor, and then goeth out to Daberath, and goeth up to Japhia, and from thence passeth along on the east to Gittahefer, to Itasakin, Kasin, and goeth out to Remon-methor, Thor, to Nia. And the border compasseth it on the north side to Hanathon, and the outgoings thereof are in the valley of Jiphtahel. Verse 15, and Katath and Nal, and Shimron and Idalah and Bethlehem, 12 cities with their villages. And this is the inheritance of the children of Zebulun according to their families, these cities with their villages. And the fourth lot came out to Issachar, for the children of Issachar according to their families. And their border was toward Jezreel, and Cheseloth, and Shunem, and Hepharim, and Shion, and Anaharath, and Rebeth, and Kashayan, and Abaz, and Remeth, and Enganim, and Enhada, and Beth-Pazez. And the coast reacheth to Tabor, and Shahazamah, and Beth-Shemesh, and the outgoings of their border were at Jordan, 16 cities with their villages. And this is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Issachar according to their families, the cities and their villages. And the fifth lot came out for the tribe of the children of Asher according to their families. And their border was Helkath and Hali and Betan and Akshaph and Alamelech and Amad and Mishael, and reacheth to Carmel westward, and Shahar-el-Gnath, and turneth toward the sun rising to Beth Dagon, and reacheth to Zebulun, and to the valley of Jiphtahel, toward the north side of Bethmech and Neanel, and goeth out to Kabul on the left hand, and Hebron and Rehob and Hammon and Kenah, even unto great Zidon. And then the coast turneth to Ramah, and to the strong city Tyre. And the coast turneth to Hosah, and the outgoings thereof are at the sea from the coast to Akzib. 30, verse 30. Umah also, and Aphek and Rehob, 22 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Asher according to their families, these cities with their villages. The sixth lot came out to the children of Naphtali, even for the children of Naphtali according to their families. And their coast was from Elon to Nanim, and Adamai, Nekeb, and Jebneel, unto Lakum. And the outgoings thereof were at Jordan. And then the coast turneth westward to Aznoth-tabor, and goeth out thence from Hukok, and reacheth to Zebulun on the south side, and reacheth to Asher on the west side, and to Judah upon Jordan toward the sun rising. And the fenced cities are Ziddim, Zer, and Hamath, Rekath, and Chinnereth, and Adamah, and Ramah, and Hazor, and Kadesh, and Edrei, and Enhazor, and Iron, and Migdalel, Horam, and Bethanath, and Beth-Shemesh, 19 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Naphtali, according to their families, the cities and their villages. And the seventh lot came out for the tribe of the children of Dan, according to their families. And the coast of their inheritance was Zorah, and Eshtaol, and Ir-shemesh, and Shaalabin, and Ajalon, and Jethlah, and Elon, and Timnatah, and Ekron, and Eltekah, and Gibbethon, and Baalath. Verse 45. And Jehud, and Benabarek, and Gathrimmon, and Majarkon, and Rakon, with the border before Japho. And the coast of the children of Dan went out too little for them. Therefore the children of Dan went up to fight against Lisham, and took it, and smote it with the edge of the sword, and possessed it, and dwelt therein, and called Lisham Dan, after the name of Dan their father. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Dan according to their families, these cities with their villages. When they had made an end of dividing the land for inheritance by their coasts, the children of Israel gave an inheritance to Joshua the son of Nun among them. According to the word of the Lord, they gave him the city which he asked, even Timnath-serah in Mount Ephraim, and he built the city and dwelt therein. These are the inheritances which Eleazar the priest and Joshua the son of Nun and the heads of the fathers of the tribes of the children of Israel divided for an inheritance by lot in Shiloh before the Lord at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. So they made an end of dividing the country.
And Jehovah also spoke unto Joshua, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, saying, Appoint out for you cities of refuge, whereof I spake unto you by the hand of Moses, that the slayer that killeth any person unawares and unwittingly may flee thither, and they shall be your refuge from the avenger of blood. And when he that doeth flee unto those cities shall stand at entering of the gate of the city, and shall declare his cause in the ears of the elders of the city, and they shall take him into the city unto them, and give him a place that he may dwell among them. And if the avenger of blood pursueth after him, then they shall not deliver the slayer up into his hand, because he smote his neighbor unwittingly, and hated him not beforetime. And he shall dwell in the city until he stand before the congregation for judgment, and until the death of the high priest that shall be in those days. Then shall the slayer return and come unto his own city, and as unto his own house, unto the city from whence he fled. And they appointed Kadesh in Galil in Mount Naphtali, and Shechem in Mount Ephraim, at Kirjathba, which is Hebron, in the mountain of Judah. And on the other side, Jordan by Jericho eastward, they assigned Bezer in the wilderness upon the plain out of the tribe of Reuben, and Ramoth in Gilead out of the tribe of Gad, and Golan in Bashan out of the tribe of Manasseh. These were the cities appointed for all the children of Israel, and for the stranger that sojourneth among them, that whosoever killeth any person unawares might flee thither, and not die by the hand of the avenger of blood, until he stood before the congregation.
And the heads of the father of the Levites came near to Eleazar the priest of Yehoshua, son of Nun, to the heads of the father of the tribes of the children of Israel. And they spoke to them at Shiloh in the land of Canaan, saying, Yahweh commanded through Moshe to give us the cities to dwell in, and their open land for our livestock. So the children of Israel gave to the Levites from their inheritance at the mouth of Yahuwah, these cities and their open lands. And the lot came out of the clans of the Kenathites, and the children of Aaron the priest, who were of the Levites, had 13 cities by lot from the tribe of Yehudah, from the tribe of Shimon, and from the tribe of Benjamin. And the rest of the children of Kehath had 10 cities by lot by the clans of the tribe of Ephraim, from the tribe of Dan, and from the half tribe of Manasseh. And the children of Gershon had 13 cities by lot by the clans of the tribe of Issachar, and from the tribe of Asher, and from the tribe of Naphtali, and from the half tribe of Manasseh and Bashan. The children of Merari for their clans had 12 cities from the tribe of Reuben, and from the tribe of Gad, and from the tribe of Zebulun. Thus the children of Israel gave these cities with their open lot with open land by the lot to the Levites, as Yahuwah had commanded by the hand of Moshe. So from the tribe of the children of Yehudah, and from the tribe of the children of Shimon, they gave these cities which are mentioned by name, and they were for the children of Aaron, one of the clans of the Kehathites, and were from the children of Levi, for the lot was their first. And they gave them Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron. Arba was the father of Anak, in the mountains of Yehudah, with the open land surrounding it. And the fields of the city and its village they gave to Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, as his possession. But to the children of Aaron, the priest, they gave Hebron with its open land, a city of refuge for the manslayer, and Lebnah was its open land, and Yitar with its open land, and Eshtemoa with its open land, and Holon with its open land, and Debir with its open land, and Ain with its open land, and Utah with its open land, and Beth Shemesh with its open land. 9 cities from these 2 tribes. And from the tribe of Benjamin, Gibbon with its open land, Geba with its open land, Anathoth with its open land, and Almon with its open land. 4 cities. All the cities of the children of Aaron, the priest, were 13 cities with their open land. And the clans of the children of Kath, the Levites, the rest of the children of Kath, even they had the cities of their lot from the tribe of Ephraim. And they gave them Shechem, which is with its open land in the mountains of Ephraim, as a city of refuge for the manslayer, and Gezer with its open land, and Quipsayim with its open land, and Beth Horon with its open land, 4 cities. And for the tribe of Dan, El Tekke with its open land, Gibeath with its open land, Ayalon with its open land, and Gath Rimmon with its open land, 4 cities. And from the half tribe of Manasseh, Tanakh with its open land, and Gath Rimmon with its open land, 2 cities. All the 10 cities with their open lands were the rest of the clans of the children of Kath. And the children of Gershon, and the clans of the Levites, with their half tribe of Manasseh, they gave Golan in Bashan, with its open land as the city of refuge for the manslayer, in Bahash-Thera with its open land, 2 cities. And from the tribe of Issachar, Kishon with its open land, Dabarath with its open land, Yarmouth with its open land, and Anganim with its open land, 4 cities. And from the tribe of Asher, Mishal with its open land, Abdon with its open land, Helkath with its open land, and Rehob with its open land, 4 cities. And from the tribe of Naphtali, Kedesh in Galil with its open land as a city of refuge for the manslayer, and Hamath Dor with its open land, and Kartan with its open land, 3 cities. All the cities of the Gershonites for their clans were 13 cities with their open lands. And the clans of the children of Merari and the rest of the Levites from the tribe of Zebulun, Yokneam with its open land, Kartah with its open land, Dimnah with its open land, Nahala with its open land, 4 cities. And from the tribe of Reuben, Bethseir with its open land, Yatsah with its open land, Kedemoth with its open land, and Mephanoth with its open land, 4 cities. And from the tribe of Gad, Ramoth in Gilad with its open lands as a city of refuge for the manslayer, and Mahanaim with its open land, Heshbon with its open land, Yashzir with its open land, 4 cities in all. All the cities for the children of Merari for their clans. The rest of the clans, the Levites, were by their lot 12 cities. All the cities of the Levites within the possession of the children of Israel were 48 cities with their open lands. Each of these cities had its open land surrounding it, so it was with all the cities. Thus Yahuwah gave to Israel all the land of which he had sworn to give to their fathers, and they took possession of it and dwelt in it. And Yahuwah gave them rest all around, according to all that he had sworn to their fathers. And not a man of all their enemies stood against them. Yahuwah gave them their enemies into their hands. Not a word failed of any good word which Yahuwah had spoken to the house of Israel. All came in.
22. At that time, Joshua summoned the Reubenites and the Gadites and the half tribe of Manasseh, and said to them, "You have kept all that Moses, the servant of the Lord, commanded you, and have obeyed my voice in all that I have commanded you. You have not forsaken your brothers these many days down to this day. but have been careful to keep the charge of the Lord your God. And now the Lord your God has given rest to your brothers, as he promised. Therefore turn and go to your tents in the land where your possession lies, which Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave you on the other side of the Jordan. Only be very careful to observe the commandment and the law that Moses, the servant of the Lord, commanded you, to love the Lord your God, and to walk in all his ways, and to keep his commandments, and to cling to him, and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul. So Joshua blessed them and sent them away, and they went to their tents. Now to the 1/2 tribe of Manasseh, Moses had given a possession in Bashan, but the other half Joshua had given a possession beside their brothers in the land west of the Jordan. And when Joshua sent them away to their homes and blessed them, he said to them, Go back to your tents with much wealth and with much livestock, with silver, gold, bronze, and iron, and with much clothing. Divide the spoil of your enemies with your brothers. So the people of Reuben and the people of Gad and the half tribe of Manasseh returned home, parting from the people of Israel at Shiloh, which is in the land of Canaan, to go to the land of Gilead, their own land, of which they had possessed themselves by command of the Lord through Moses. And when they came to the region of the Jordan, that is, in the land of Canaan, the people of Reuben and the people of Gad and the half tribe of Manasseh built there an altar by the Jordan, an altar of imposing size. And the people of Israel heard it said, Behold, the people of Reuben and the people of Gad and the half tribe of Manasseh have built the altar at the frontier of the land of Canaan, in the region about the Jordan, on the side that belongs to the people of Israel. When the people of Israel heard it, the whole assembly of the people of Israel gathered at Shiloh to make war against them. Then the people of Israel sent to the people of Reuben and the people of Gad and the half tribe of Manasseh and the land of Gilead Phinehas, the son of Eleazar the priest, and with him 10 chiefs, one of each of the tribal families of Israel, every one of them the head of a family among the clans of Israel. And they came to the people of Reuben, the people of Gad, and the half tribe of Manasseh, and the land of Gilead, and they said to them, Thus says the whole congregation of the Lord, What is this breach of faith you have committed against the God of Israel, and turning away this day from following the Lord by building yourselves an altar this day in rebellion against the Lord? Have we not had enough of the sin at Peor, from which even yet we have not cleansed ourselves, and for which there came a plague upon the congregation of the Lord, that you too must turn away this day from following the Lord? And if you too rebel against the Lord today, then tomorrow he will be angry with the whole congregation of Israel. But now, if the land of your possession is unclean, pass over into the Lord's land, where the Lord's tabernacle stands, and take for yourselves a possession among us. Only do not rebel against the Lord, or make us as rebels by building yourselves an altar other than the altar of the Lord our God. Did not Achan, the son of Zerah, break faith in the matter of the devoted things, and wrath fell upon all the congregation of Israel? And he did not perish alone for his iniquity. Then the people of Reuben, the people of Gad, and the half tribe of Manasseh said in answer to the heads of the families of Israel, The mighty one, God the Lord, he knows, and let Israel itself know. If it was in rebellion or in breach of faith against the Lord, do not spare us today for building an altar to turn away from following the Lord. Or if we did so, to offer burnt offerings or grain offerings or peace offerings on it, may the Lord himself take vengeance. No, but we did it from fear that in time to come your children might say to our children, What have you to do with the Lord, the God of Israel? For the Lord has made the Jordan a boundary between us, and you people of Reuben and people of Gad, you have no portion in the Lord. So your children might make our children cease to worship the Lord. Therefore we said, Let us now build an altar, not for burnt offering nor for sacrifice, but to be a witness between us and you, and between our generations after us, that we do perform the service of the Lord in his presence with our burnt offerings and sacrifices and peace offerings. So your children will not say to our children in time to come, you have no portion in the Lord. And we thought, if this should be said to us or to our descendants in time to come, we should say, behold the copy of the altar of the Lord, which our fathers made, not for burnt offering nor for sacrifice, but to be a witness between us and you. Far be it from us that we should rebel against the Lord and turn away this day from following the Lord by building an altar of burnt offering, grain offering, or sacrifice, other than the altar of the Lord our God that stands before his tabernacle. When Phinehas the priest and the chiefs of the congregation, the heads of the families of Israel, who were with him, heard the words that the people of Reuben and the people of Gad and the people of Manasseh spoke, it was good in their eyes. And Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the priest, said to the people of Reuben and the people of Gad and the people of Manasseh, today we know the Lord is in our midst, because you have not committed this breach of faith against the Lord. Now you have delivered the people of Israel from the hand of the Lord. Then Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the priest, and the chiefs returned from the people of Reuben and the people of Gad in the land of Gilead to the land of Canaan, to the people of Israel, and brought back word to them. And the report was good in the eyes of the people of Israel, and the people of Israel blessed God and spoke no more of making war against them to destroy the land where the people of Reuben and the people of Gad were settled. The people of Reuben and the people of Gad called the altar Witness, for they said, it is a witness between us and the Lord is God.
Chapter 23. And it came to pass a long time after that the Lord had given rest unto Israel from all their enemies round about, that Joshua waxed old and stricken in age. And Joshua called for all Israel, and for their elders, and for their heads, and for their judges, and for their officers, and said unto them, I am old and stricken in age. And ye have seen all that the Lord your God hath done unto all these nations because of you. For the Lord your God is he that hath fought for you. Behold, I have divided unto you by lot these nations that remain, to be an inheritance for your tribes from Jordan, with all the nations that I have cut off, even unto the great sea westward. And the Lord your God, he shall expel them from before you, and drive them out from your sight, and you shall possess their land, as the Lord your God hath promised you. Be ye therefore very courageous to keep and to do all that is written in the book of the law of Moses, that you turn not aside therefrom to the right hand or to the left, that you come not among these nations. These that remain among you, neither make mention of the name of their gods, nor cause to swear by them, neither serve them, nor bow yourselves unto them, but cleave unto the Lord your God, as you have done unto this day. For the Lord hath driven out from before you great nations and strong. But as for you, no man hath been able to stand before you unto this day. Verse 10. One man of you shall chase 1,000, and for the Lord your God, for it is he that fighteth for you, as he hath promised. Take good heed therefore unto yourselves, that ye love the Lord your God. Else, if you do in any wise go back and cleave unto the remnant of these nations, even these that remain among you, and shall make marriages with them, and go in unto them, and they to you, know for a certainty that the Lord your God will no more drive out any of these nations from before you, but they shall be snares and traps unto you, and scourges in your sides, and thorns in your eyes, until you perish from off this good land which the Lord your God hath given you. And behold, this day I am going the way of all the earth, and you know in all your hearts and in all your souls that not one thing hath failed of all the good things which the Lord your God spake concerning you. All are come to pass unto you, and not one thing hath failed thereof. Therefore it shall come to pass that as all good things are come upon you, which the Lord your God hath promised you, so shall the Lord bring upon you all evil things, until he have destroyed you from off this good land which the Lord your God hath given you. When ye have transgressed the covenant of the Lord your God, which he commanded you, and have gone and served other gods, and bowed yourselves to them, then shall the anger of the Lord be kindled against you, and you shall perish quickly from off the good land which he hath given unto you. Well, and now we have to go all the way back to 19. Talking to one person there in the upper right hand corner. Yeah.
I was having deep thoughts.
Okay, so this is again continuing with the description of the borders that the tribes have. Has anybody got anything out of this that just jumps out at you?
Not a
Just very,
19.
just very, very detailed. I'm
Yes.
sorry.
It is. It is. I think because she hasn't said not it, Alvina needs to make us a map. Detailed. A very detailed thing. 1 inch equals 1 mile.
Like new wallpaper for her place. Like when you were reading, Donna, it was like, and her land, and her land, and her land. It was like,
Are you jumping ahead?
no, it says it in 19 too.
Uh-huh. What verse is that?
It says it anytime it says when it, and its land or whatever the phrase is.
Uh-huh.
It's
In
the open land or the open land.
Yeah, open land.
Yeah.
In the KJV, it says her land, her land, her land. And I'm like, what? I'd never read that before. Why it would be referring to the feminine and
Well,
land.
And that goes to the issue with translating an ancient dead language. In that they're pronouns, they just have a pronoun showing ownership, but it doesn't show. Primarily, it can be translated he, she, or its, hers, his,
Oh.
its. So,
Well, that's something that in some studies that I've been doing lately on Hebrews, wisdom is used as her. But if you go back and look at this, the scripture references of wisdom is Yeshua. There's a reference in the Old Testament that talks about wisdom can't find a place to light her foot. Oh, it's not in the Old Testament. I think it's one of the extra biblical texts. And Yeshua says that in one of the Gospels. And it's sort of kind of just thrown out there. Nobody knows exactly where it came from. And it comes in one of the apocryphal books. It talks about wisdom can't find a place to rest her foot or to live. And it says her. So it's the same thing, I think, what you're saying, Jonathan, is trying to translate that pronoun.
I think like my head is spinning with other things that I was listening to in the last like 64 hours. Just, oh gosh, I don't even want to know if I should go there, but maybe not.
okay, let's go to 20.
No, I won't go there, but it makes sense why somebody would want to use her. Anyways.
So 20 is the cities of refuge.
Yeah. Boy, there's lots.
And well, this one's basically just a reminder about that they need these cities of refuge. So I find it interesting that they put these out.
I guess lots of people were dying by accident. I don't know. Oh, I didn't mean to take. Never mind. Sorry. Don't let the flesh-infected nature take over.
Too late.
I resisted, and it fled.
Well, but if you think about, okay, so this is like an agrarian society, and they work with tools and things like that. They could, somebody got hit with an axe, or walk up behind somebody, got hit with an axe, or run over by an ox, or
I was just thinking, run over by a donkey going around the wheel.
there's no telling what could happen. Yeah,
Millstone. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah, that's a lot of cities to have refuge.
Exactly. Like some stuff must be happening. You're sweeping up. Oh, this is not funny. Sorry.
Try to grab somebody out from in front of the plow that's not paying attention.
Yeah.
Get plowed through.
Sweeping your roof off. Big nuggets flying off.
Or you get into a fight with somebody.
Right.
Killed them.
That would be called manslaughter now, right?
Yeah.
Well, that happens. Look how often that happens. Every few years, it seems like there's a widely publicized case of somebody getting in a fight and punching someone just right, and they die.
Yeah.
From a punch. And everybody says, "Oh, fight it out like men." There's no threat if you're getting punched. Oh, really? Okay.
Well, and you see the people getting punched in movies. I was watching Walker Texas Ranger, and I'm like, you can't stand with that. And then there's some social media stuff out right now, and a guy gets hit one time with a good punch, and they're down. I mean, they're down and they're out. So I think, the media or what's in our movies and TVs and stuff like that we don't have a perception of somebody that's really strong punch you one time. What you're saying, Jonathan, one good punch in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Chapter 21. Okay, that's a lot of cities.
That was a lot of cities and a lot of names. Where was Matt?
I know. Come on, Matt.
You guys did a great job, by the way. You really did.
That's
I always get those Matts.
coming from this 9 verse.
I know. I was like, wow. Am I being punished? I'm only restricted to a few verses.
When it was just over here, I said, "Do you want to read 2nd or 3rd?" She's all, "I don't care."
Well, I didn't look ahead. I didn't see what was happening. So thank you for having mercy on me.
So I was writing down all these numbers and then realized that it summarized at the end. Right? 48 cities in total. So
That's a lot.
what do we get from 48? Is there any significance to that number? I'm going to go look up
4 times the tribes.
numbers. Ooh, yes. Going to look up the numbers in Scripture.
Wonder how big a city was.
That was crossing my mind too. What did they call a city?
Yeah, because you have
Because it says they're villages round about.
right. So you have the location in our brain, roughly when we look at the map, right, of Canaan, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know that if you look at the present state of Israel, what it looks like in comparison to one of our provinces, right? One of our provinces is way bigger. Let's see, if we go this, not the smallest province, if we go the size of Saskatchewan, I mean, city is considered 10,000 people now, roughly. I mean, when I was like 15, 10,000 was considered a city where you legally had to change your relationship with the government, where you had to now do something different with the government when you reached 10,000. And then I remember living there for like, I think we lived there for about 3 years or something. And that number on Welcome to Steinbach, it said, 9,946 or something. And it had been that same number for a really long time. But anyways, yeah, like that's a lot. Like that's a lot in a small space. So they weren't very big cities.
Well, but you've got you in some of your provinces up there, just like in the United States, where you've got like up toward the north where it's colder. There's not a large population. I mean, Saskatchewan and those provinces are huge.
Yeah.
But the populations are really, confined into certain areas like Ontario and places like that. The provinces are big, but the cities.
Yeah,
those
the next city that's closest to us is like 3.5 hours away. Like we've got, I don't know how many people we have. Like we have way over 1 million people in Edmonton, right?
So this right here, right? This is the pre-67 borders of modern Israel, right? And this little pinch right here, you see that little pinch? This little waist right there? That's like 27 miles across.
Holy, that's not very far at all.
The valley of Tucson, where it gets flat, from flat to flat, is, from foothills to foothills, is about 23 miles. So
That's not very far.
tiny area. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, that's not taking into account the Jordan and everything.
Because, from here to Edmonton is, okay, wait, from here to, it's about the same.
Oops.
It's about 40 kilometers, 35 kilometers, maybe, something like that.
So this is where it is now. And if you look, you got the Sea of Galilee up north in the green. And then the Jordan River comes down to the Dead Sea. And then the Jordan River follows that down out to that branch to the point of the Red Sea right there.
48 cities. That's a lot. But anyways.
I'm looking at what constitutes a city in the United States. And a small city or medium city is 100 to 300,000, and a small town's 1,000 to 10,000. So a large town in the United States is 10,000 to 100,000.
Well, in Jonah, doesn't it say Nineveh is a city of like 100,000 people?
Let me look.
Well, our water bill says city of Hammond, so yeah.
How big is it? How big is the city?
It got up to 30,000 after Katrina, but it sits around 20, 25, something like that. It's been a while since I've checked.
Well, and it also says that it's depending upon the government, how the government wants to define itself, because there's certain things that certain governmental offices and services that have to take place in a town as opposed to city, according to this.
Interesting. It's probably varies state by state.
Mm-hmm.
In the U.S. at least. Very interesting. Okay. So a lot of cities. Let's go to 22.
120,000.
Nineveh?
Uh-huh.
120,000. Okay. So chapter 22 of Joshua. Okay, now there was a lot in this that starting at verse 4, where does he tell them to go? Go back to your tents. Right? Remember when he was talking about you would take over cities? They were promised you would take over cities that you didn't build, and houses that you didn't lay the foundations of, and et cetera, something along those lines. And yet here they're told to go back to their tents. I just think that's very interesting. And we're going to see that for quite a long time now, too. In Scripture. I mean, in the historical books.
Interesting.
Hmm.
And in verse 5, but take heed that you keep the commandments.
Mm.
Okay, so my question here would be, maybe was it the time of year of where they were? Were they in Sukkot, where they're told where you're supposed to be dwelling in tents? Or is he not? Or because maybe they had to lay waste to the cities and they weren't inhabitable yet?
I don't know, but we're gonna see pretty soon. I mean, they're always going back to their tents, back to their tents, back to their tents. It doesn't say back to their cities. It says back to their tents. Now, is this because they're used to the shepherd's life, or it's all it's what these people that are alive have known?
Maybe it's just more like go back home and go to your daily lives. Like go, like sort of like dismissing maybe.
Oh, along those lines, could it be the men going back to their tents with their animals out in the field, and the women are in the houses?
That's what I was just getting ready to say, because these guys are shepherds and the Levites are given pasture land.
Mm-hmm.
It says open lands. It actually means pasture lands around the city. So are the Levites taking care of their pasture, or are the shepherds taking care of that land for them because they're serving in the temple?
Well, I think they all have livestock too. That's a good point, though, too. Because they are told, if we go back to Leviticus and Deuteronomy, they're told to take care of the Levite within your gates.
I bet you're right, though, Jonathan. The shepherds are out in the fields in their tents, and their wives and everything are in the cities dwelling. That's an interesting thought.
Way to go, Gwen.
Going out with the boys.
That's probably where I'd end up. If they can go, I can go too.
Where was Joshua in all this? Like, I don't mean to just couldn't encompass the whole chapter.
He was busy waxing up some age.
Because
as we find in the next chapter.
Yeah, there still has to be somebody that's sort of patrolling and making sure that the leaders are dealing with, their people properly, making sure the drama between husband and wife is at a minimum, and,
So in this, we got, who was it? Reuben and Gad and the half tribe of Manasseh cross back over the River Jordan and build an altar.
This one had me a bit confused at the wording, maybe.
So they build an altar, and all the other tribes
Had a cow.
gather together for war. They're ready to purge them from Israel. And what's the name of the town where they go? Verse
Um,
12.
12, when the people of Israel sinned,
Shiloh
Shiloh.
And
Oh.
Shiloh, who did research on that? What's it mean?
means calm, peace. It's like gift of God, calm.
Interesting.
And
So
see,
they go to the place of peace or calm, prepared to make war.
all cranky.
I'm sorry?
They said all cranky.
All cranky?
Yeah, they went to the piece of peace and all cranky. But that's why I'm asking, where's Joshua? And I don't want to add or take away, because we don't know whether or not they were, praying and seeking the Lord, but it reads at least like problem reaction. And then there's no mention of Joshua anywhere in this chapter. It's just the people of Israel. And so that's where I was like, where's the
Oh,
Well, wait a second. In chapter 21, though, he called them together. So is this a continuation and we need to take out the chapter number?
Well, I don't think so, because the default, the person in charge that speaks for the chiefs of the tribes is Phinehas, right? The priest, the high priest.
Well, at the beginning of chapter 22, he said Joshua called for the Reubenites and the Gadites and the half tribes of Manasseh.
Right. But then he sends them home. Right? Verse 6, Joshua blessed them and sent them away, and they went under their tents.
So has he maybe set up the heads of the chiefs and he set up the chiefs of the tribe and told them to go take the land?
Right.
So,
And they're done. That's why he's able to send the half tribe of Manasseh, right, back. Remember, they came over to fight with the rest of Israel when they got their possession east of the Jordan River. So they left their women and children in flocks behind, but then they came over to fight to help everybody else take their inheritance, since they already had theirs and everybody had to help them. Grinning Gwen, what do you have there?
sorry, my kid was just showing me a craft. My brain is thinking about something different aside from Joshua and all of that. Like, I was a bit confused at, like, they went and did the thing, and everybody didn't like it, and then they figured out, okay, it's okay, and then at the very, very end, they just, confirmed everything was okay, and then all of a sudden, what did it say in hang on a second. Which he commanded you have gone served other gods, bowed yourself to.
Well, it brings up something very interesting here too. In verse 25, they're on the other side of the river Jordan. Jerusalem is on the west side. West side, yes, sir. Jerusalem's on the west side. And they're on the other side. It's a physical barrier. They're already physically separated from their brethren.
Huh.
There's already a very physical divide. It's like people on one side of the Mississippi and people on the other side of the Mississippi. Right? There's definitely a cultural difference that takes place when you cross that. And the same thing with the Rocky Mountains. For those of you up north, same thing with the Rocky Mountains. The people east of them and the plains, they've got a different sort of perspective.
can we go back to Shiloh for just a second?
Okay.
While we were sitting here talking, I went back and looked this up. And so So in 12, it says all the congregation of children of Israel assembled at Shiloh to go to fight against them. So Shiloh means the peace of God, which I find really interesting. And then if you go look, there's a benediction in Genesis 49:10. It says, Judah is a young lion, blah, blah, blah. The scepter will not part from Judah, nor the staff from between his feet until Shiloh comes, and the allegiance of the nation is his. And Shiloh is a reference to Yeshua.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting in that they're going to a place of peace to go fight.
Yep.
And that's what Yeshua is a peace. But he came peacefully, and then he's going to come back and fight.
I know. It's very
So,
interesting.
just now clicked. Sorry, had to go backwards.
No, it's okay. Everyone's entitled once in a while. No.
To do it, Gwen.
Yeah. But I just
I
find
heard that.
it interesting, though, that even now they're not trying to separate. They're just trying to go live their lives. They're not trying to take up other gods or anything. They're just brought, they're wanting their children to remember what's going on. But at the same time, that's a big river.
Yeah.
They're not going to be crossing back and forth all the time.
Well, and even though that place is not that big, that's not like us jumping in the car and being there in 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's probably a week's trek or however long it takes them to walk and then go across.
Well, and how are they getting across? By ferry?
That's what I was going to say.
Or boats or canoes or whatever.
Right?
Or they're walking around it.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing. Walking around a river can take time.
You walk around the Mississippi, you're going to be there. You're going to be for a while.
Yeah. Yep.
Or at least get to a point of where you can cross it, where it's a small space.
Yep. Wind bailed.
I can get across it, but it's pretty much south from there.
You can't get across it where I've lived.
Actually, they got bridges. I'm on either side of it because you got to cross it to go through Baton Rouge, and you got to cross it to go through New Orleans.
Well, I'm not talking about a bridge. So I'm talking about, there's places where the Mississippi's a mile across.
And more.
Yeah. And so if you have to go north to find a spot where you can actually walk across it, it's quite a ways.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that's sort of kind of the same thing they're facing.
That's what I would think. So so we see this separation kind of starts now, and then we get to the next chapter, 23. And starts talking about how old Joshua is. Waxed old and stricken in age. Right? So I believe he's at the point where he's starting to suffer old people problems. Right? Stiff joints, muscle starting to waste away.
Diabetes.
The what?
I was joking. I said diabetes.
Well, disease.
Diabetes, I think, is probably a modern.
Well,
no, I agree. I'm just
Yeah.
being playful, but yeah. I don't think they had the same problems that we have today.
Well, in the translation I'm reading, it says advanced in age.
Advanced in age, you say?
Uh,
Now, as rivers go, the Jordan's not a huge river, but it says it's 156 miles long.
wow.
So that's like what? How long is Louisiana?
Our parish is like 35 miles long, just the parish, and there's many more.
Right. So I
It's a
mean,
how many miles, Jonathan? 100 and what?
153.
So that's, for us, that's like the border of Mississippi, the border of Missouri to
156.
past Little Rock, Arkansas.
Right.
That's
And then-
about 130, 140 miles.
$380 miles long and 330 miles wide. I mean, 130 miles wide.
So yeah, that's that river, whole river would fit in Louisiana.
The width, right? I'm guessing the bottom half. Yeah, that's the bottom of the boot.
I'm looking at a reference to see how wide it is. And either way, it's still a formidable barrier. Huh, interesting. So in this website called landofthebible.com, despite its size being more of a creek than a river, only about 100 feet wide at its broadest spot, and maybe 17 feet deep at its deepest point. So all of a sudden that becomes much more manageable.
Yeah.
We are, if we were put together, okay. So this is, after this, basically he's telling them, keep the commandments, right? Keep the commandments. Remember everything that God has done for you, right? That Yah has done for you. Now go back to your tents. And then we got one chapter left after this, which is going to be the goodbye, the big goodbye. For Joshua at least. All right, anybody else got anything?
No,
You just what?
I don't know. I don't know how. Yeah, I'll keep that to myself. No.
Okay.
Hard to explain.
So again, just a reminder, we got less people now. Just a reminder for the program note that 2 days from now, we're not going to do the reading. It will be taped rest of the study. Tomorrow morning will be a portion of that study, A Life of Repentance. And then Wednesday will be the final installment in the evening at our normal reading time. And then the reason I wanted to do that is because on Sabbath, for the reading, we'll get into Judges, and that's when, well, like I said earlier, they start dropping the ball. So it's going to be quite dramatic. It's going to be all drama. I don't know what the dog's doing. All right, everybody, thank you very much for joining us. I love you all. And thank you very much, Gwen and Dee and Landon, for reading. Appreciate it very much. And we will be talking to you very soon in the near future at some point that's after today. Love you. Bye.
Later.